Guys, this is Aziz and it is tech time. Today we're going to do a C++ kind of homework, and it's um, a single video, and we're going to solve a problem that we have right in here. It is about taxes and income. So let's go ahead and read throughout this homework, and I'm going to solve it later to look exactly like this. So let's undo that. Okay. So write a program that calculates and prints the monthly paycheck for an employee. The net pay is calculated after taking the following deductions. These are the deductions. Of course, they're not going to be 15%. They're going to be 0.15%. So we're going to divide them by 100 and make them a global constant variable, or just a constant variable. We're going to do the program must use an input file for the gross pay and the employee name. So the gross pay and the employee name is going to be inside a file. The output must be stored in an output file. So we're not going to do cout, we're going to do fout. And all monetary values must be printed with 2 decimal places. So we're going to print them all in 2 decimals, not more than that. And we're going to do the output should match the following format exactly. So paycheck calculated by, and your name, the employee's name, the gross amount, which is this, is in a file. The rest we calculated from this, and we will do this gross pay multiplied by 0.15, which is this one for federal income tax, and the amount is right here. To calculate the net pay, we will do the total of all these numbers minus this number, or the other way around, to get this number right here. Note the use of the dot right in here, all these dots, to as a fill character, and the fact that the first column is left justified. This is left justified, but this is right justified. Yep, and for formatting, you may assume that the gross pay will never be more than this number. We're not going to worry about that. So let's go ahead and continue this. You should create your own input file, just a text file. We're going to do that. Stored in the same folder as your program. By default it does that. It should contain just one line of data containing the gross pay and name of the employee with no blanks between. For the above paycheck, this would be this. So we're not going to leave spaces between them. We have to be smart about how we get the input. So let's go ahead and continue. There'll be space between Jason and Matthew, but that's about it. So let's go ahead and read the rest. Instead of using cout, all output will be sent to an output file. So fout, and we're going to format it the right way. So let's go ahead and minimize it right here and start our Visual Studio. Go start, go to Visual Studio, and let's go ahead and start the program. Okay, let's go ahead and go to New Project, click on that, and then go to C++. If you don't have that, you go to other languages. So go to Visual C++, empty project, and name it. I'm going to name it number 3. Let's see what is the name of it. We will call it calculating paycheck. Let's call it calculating paycheck. Calculating paycheck, and just go ahead and save it. Alright, we have our Solution Explorer right here on the right. So let's go and right click on Source Files, Add New Item. Let's go ahead and go to C++ file and name it main as usual. And let's create an input file right here, Add New Item. And this file will be a text file, so it's right here on the bottom. So go ahead and name it input, or let's name it info input for information about the employee, and add, and there it is. You can double click it to add it right in here. There it is. So let's go ahead and start our coding, and let's write the skeleton, include IO stream, and we know that we're going to include files, so we can go ahead and include f stream also. Alright, and let's go ahead and do using namespace std and void main open close, and put a system pause right here. Alright, let's go ahead and zoom in just because I want to make sure that everyone is able to see this. So I hope this is good enough of zoom. Let's make sure it's can we see 140? Alright, this is 140. So let's go ahead and start the program. So the first thing we want to do is we want to display this much info. Paycheck calculation by your name. So let's go ahead and do that, which is a normal f out. But we can't do f out because we don't have the file yet. So we have to do if stream, which is stating the input file stream, and we'll name it something, which is fn for file input. And let's go ahead and open the file, info input.txt. This is one way to do it. You can also do fn.open and then type it the same way, but this way is also another way, which is easier and it's just one line. So let's go ahead and do of stream f out, and we don't have to create the file right now. It will create it for us. So we're going to do output file.txt. We're just going to name it a normal name. So in here we can do f out, and then just like cout we use it. Let's see, what did it say? Paycheck calculation by, and then let's copy that and paste it right here, put it in, okay, and we're going to get the parentheses and everything, by Azam Aziz, which is my name. So paycheck calculation by my name, and that's what you'll have in the file. So let's go ahead and see that. Debug, start without debugging, see what happens. Alright, it seems like it ran through it without any problems. It's almost done. Alright, okay, press any key to continue. It succeeded just fine. So let's go ahead and right click on resource files, add existing item, and let's go to output file and add. So right in here we have the output file, double click it, and there it is, paycheck calculation by my name. So we have that. Let's go ahead and continue with this and see what do we have to say. So now we have to say the person's name and the gross amount. So we have to input it from a file. So let's go ahead and do file in. But before we do file in, maybe we have more than one file. So let's go ahead and do the while loop, while not file in dot end of file. You can also do this as an fn, but I like to do it this way, while it's not the end of the file, just because it's more proper this way. So go ahead and continue with that. We're going to input, before we go into here actually, we're going to input so we don't have one line at the end twice. So it's going to do fn, and we will input first an integer. So we have to define the integer right in here, int, and we will call it g pay, gross pay, equal to 0, and then we're going to make a string and call it name, or employee empl and name. That would be enough, and equal to nothing. Alright, now we can input gross pay, and then we can input employee name. There it is. And let's see, this error is because no operator matches these operands, just because we don't have string added. So let's go ahead and include string. There it is, string, and now it's gone. So let's go ahead and fill our input file with input, just like it says at the end right in here. This is the example, so let's go ahead and copy it, and it must not have any spaces in between the integers and the name. Right in here there are no spaces, but there is a space between the names. So to do that, we can't just do employee name, because what will happen is it will look at the integer, it will copy this, and then it look at the word and copy this, but it will forget about the name. So what we need to do is copy the whole thing, this whole thing with the spaces, until it sees the end line. To do that, we can put a semicolon here, and we can do a get line, which is to get the whole line of the string. So get line, I believe this is the code for it. Yes, this is the exact line. And let's go ahead and open parentheses, and let's do first the input. Right in here, I can move the mouse, I guess. Right in here, iStream is either an input from a file, or you can have an input from a file. Here again, all of it is either input from file or input from the console. So let's go ahead and put fn, that's first, comma. Now in here we can use a string, we can use also string, most of it is strings and different things in here, but we're going to use a string, so let's go ahead and put the string name, mpl name, and close it, and that's it. Now what this will do is it will look at this name from here, and it will not stop until it reaches an end line or end of the file. It will take all the spaces. So if I keep adding things like this, it will take it. So let's go ahead and edit that, and let's go ahead and see. Okay, let's go ahead and copy this and paste it right at the end, right in here. Okay, so we're all good here. Now we got the inputs. Now we need to display them right in here like that. So we need to display the name and then gross amount and then the dots like that. So to display the name, you do fout and just usual mpl name, which is the employee name. Now you display that. Then you can do an end line right in here, and then just to make sure it's not too crowded, we can do this, and it would say gross amount, and then you leave a space, and then you end it right here. Now I will take care of the dots in a second and show you how to take care of that. So after gross amount, you can do the gross amount, which is gpay, and that's it. So let's go ahead and see the code right here. Let's go ahead and go to build or debug, start without debugging. Let's go ahead and see what happens. Now it succeeded, so press any key to continue. Now this yes all is just because we modified the output file, so you press yes to all. Let's go to output file, and it says paycheck calculation by Azamaziz, and it doesn't seem to have outputted all of this. Let's see why. Let's go ahead and put the dots right in here, and let's go ahead and press F5 and see what happened here. Yes to all. Okay, F10. Now see the input right here, it got it, and it got the input Jason Matthews, while it skipped it right away because it saw the end of the file because of this. So that's another problem that you have to deal with. So you end it, and I had to deal with when I was taking the class, because in here you have to put an enter, which is because like in here it sees the end of the file and it tells this that there's an end of the file there, so skip it. So you need to put an extra line at the end, so when it reaches to here it will say this is the end of the line, not end of the file. The next time it takes input, it will see that it's the end of the file, it will not take it. So let's go ahead and press Control F5 and yes to all, and there we go. We have it right here, paycheck calculation by Azam Aziz, and then Jason Matthews, and then gross pay, right that. So let's go ahead and put an end line right before we get in here. Cout or fout end line. So let's put two end lines actually. Let's put it like this, just to format it the right way. Let's see how that looks. Yes to all, and there it is. So let's go ahead and drag this to the bottom, and then you see this circle right here, you can put it wherever you want. So let's put it to the right and drag it a little bit there, so we can see the output right away. We don't have to wait for it. So now we have that output. What else do we need? Let's see what else we need. We need to do the dots right now, and the $, and the justification of this, and the .00. I will do this at the end, but I'll do this right now for the dots. So let's see how many letters we have. We have to count them to make sure of the count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, so 28. So 27, 26, okay. Alright, so here's what we're gonna do. We're going to do, right before this happens, right in here, right here, set width and open spaces and set it to 28, or set it to 26, let's say, and then space and then continue with it. The set width is not identified yet because it's from a different library, which is to include IO manip library right here. Close it, and now it will let us use set width right here. So now it will set it to 26. To explain this to you better, let's go ahead and compile it. Yes, yes to all, and see how it pushed this to the right. It set all the space is 26 characters. So we need to push this word to the left. To push it to the left, we can do left right in here, and then it will accept it to the left. So Control F5, yes, yes to all. Now it's to the left, and it kept 26 spaces between them. Now to make sure that these characters are dots, we can do set fill. The set fill will fill whatever is a space with this character. The character will be a period and end it, and now it will fill them all with periods. So let's go ahead and press yes, yes to all. There it is, all the periods. Now in here, after we finish this, we want to do a space, dollar sign, and another, or no space, that's it, and then press Control F5, yes, yes to all. There it is. That's what we wanted to do. It will do these characters plus whatever is needed to finish the 26 characters right here, and then it will put the space right in here, the space before it, and then the dollar sign, and then it will display the number. So to continue with that, let's see what else do we need. We need to do federal tax, state tax, all of these, and all of these deductions are right here. To do them, we need to do a constant. A constant is a value that will never ever change, and we can't even change it. So that's why we're using constant. So let's use const, and we'll name it for federal tax, fed tax, and equals to, right in here it's 15%. So let's go ahead and drag this and make it smaller, and make this one also smaller. You don't have to do this. I'll just have to do it myself and make sure that I see everything right in front of me. Okay, let's see the federal taxes. The federal taxes would be 15, so we do 15 divided by 100, and then that's it. Now it will accept it, but we didn't put what value it is. We're going to make sure that it's a float, because doubles use more of the memory, so floats are better, and we're going to continue doing that. We're going to put a comma, and then we're going to name another one, which is state tax, equal to 3.5 divided by 100, and then we have, what else do we have? Social security tax, equal to 5.75 divided by 100, and then comma, and then we go back to here and we do med tax. We're just going to call it med tax, equal to 2.75 divided by 100, and then comma, pen plan, equal to 5 divided by 100, and then comma, and then we have the health insurance, which is health INS, equal to 75.00, and close it. And we're going to put an F in here to use less memory, and we don't have to do divide by 100 because health insurance is a static, a one-time thing. It doesn't have to change. So it's going to minimize and make it big. Alright, now we have all that we need: federal taxes, med taxes, state pension plan, social security tax, health insurance, and all that. So now we're going to continue with whatever we were doing. So let's go ahead and put two enters right here, which is end line, end line. There it is. Let's go ahead and go down under it, and let's see what do we have to do. So we need to do federal taxes and then state tax. So let's do federal tax. So f out, we're going to have to do a left, and we're going to have to do set width to 26 also, just like we did above, and then set fill, and let's make sure it's a dot, and we're going to do fed, let's see how it's spelled, fed, FDE, yep, federal taxes. I like to make sure that I'm spelling things right. So let's go ahead and put a $sign right here, and we're going to do the how we made the federal taxes. So to make the federal taxes right here, we're going to have to make an integer because we're going to use it later. So either that, or we can just display it right here, but we're gonna have to add them up later, because in here, to make sure we display this, we need to add all these up, and to add them up we need to put them inside one calculation. So we need to make sure that we have floats again. So let's make float and fed tax, or fed, let's just call it fed equals 0.0f and comma, and let's call it state equals 0.0f, and social security equals 0.0f and comma, what else do we need, med equals 0.0f, and pen equals 0.0f, and health insurance, we don't have to do it because it's just right here, we can just add it. So let's go ahead and do the calculation right here. So we don't even have to make the calculation here, then print it, then do it again, print it. We can do all the processing right in here. To do the processing, we can do gpay multiplied times fed tax, and then end it, and then the fed would equal to this amount. Gross pay times federal tax, and this would be the fed, and then the state would be gpay times state tax, and then end it, and so on to continue with the rest of them. This is a capital, so let's go and copy it, and the next one would be a social security, social sick, and let's copy it, tax, and let's go ahead and copy the rest of it. What is it? Med is equal to med tax, and the next one is pension plan, which is pen is equal to pen plan, and then the next one is I don't think we need it, health insurance, we don't need that. So now we have all this information, so we can just display it right away to be fed, and that's it. So let's go ahead and see what happened here. Let's go and control F5, yes, yes to all, and there it is. But the problem here is we have a 0 right in here. Let's see why that happened, and I'll explain why that happened. Let's see before we go in. This is an integer right here. So let's go ahead and, okay, let's go ahead and press it, F5, and yes to all. So let's go ahead and continue right here, or press F10. So calculation, gross pay, and where's the gross pay? There it is, and then F10, there's the name, while input, and there it is, output, output. Now fed is here 0, 0, but the gross pay is an integer, and this is a float. So let's go ahead and continue with it. It kept the fed as a 0 all the way, and it kept the same thing for the rest of them. For the rest of them it did change it. So let's see what happened with the federal tax, because it's 15 divided by 100, and it should accept it right here. If we look at the fed tax, it's 0, it's still a 0. So we have a problem right in the federal tax. Let's see what happened here. Close it, yes to all, okay. Now the problem here is because we're dividing an integer right by an integer, so it's not going to give us a float. To do that is we just need to do dot 0 and it will accept it now. Control F5, yes to all, yes to all, and there it is, 563, because you need to put a double on either side of them. So that's a good thing to know. And let's go ahead and continue the rest of it. Let's just 1 2 3 4 5 and 6, and now we're going to just change them to state. This one is state. I like to keep them in format, so I'm going to push them a little bit. And in here we need to change the state to social security, and let's go ahead and change this one to SOSIC, and then the same thing with federal taxes is going to be Medicare, Medicaid, and then in here we're just going to call it med, and federal taxes is going to change to pension plan taxes, or no taxes actually, just pension plan, and in here is going to change to pen, and we're going to change this one to health care plan. I'm going to call it plan, and we're going to just change this to health what do we call it right here? Health insurance. Yep, there it is. So let's go ahead and run it and see what happens. Yes to all. There it is. We did not put an end line, but there it is. Let's put an end line so we make sure that it's put the right way. I'm going to push this just a little bit to make sure that it looks neat to the user who's going to read it after me. Let's put an end line, and let's put an end line right here. Let's put an end line right here. Let's push them a little bit. Okay, let's copy it, and let's do the same thing right here. Alright, let's do the same thing right here. We're gonna push this a little bit, and okay, same thing right in here. I'm gonna have to push this just a little bit. Okay, now we're going to run it and see what happens. Yes to all, and there it is. We can see that the federal tax is this, the state taxes, let's see if it equals to it, and I know that one of them is wrong, the pension plan. I'll take care of that in a second. 125, 205, 98, and these are higher. We're going to fix that, as I said before. The pension plan is different, the health insurance without zeros, so we're all good right here. We're just going to have to fix the pension plan because it's a 5, so 0.0, it will be just fine right here, right now. There it is, 178. Is it 178? Yes, it is. So now, if you want to do all these numbers to 2 decimal places, you need to do, before you go in, you need to do this right here, right in the start of it all. C or F out fixed show point 2, and that's it. The show point is going to fix that problem for you, and it's going to make sure that you see the 2 decimal place. Actually, I apologize, it's not the show point. I've showed you this before. It's this one. The show point is to show you if you have a number that's really high and it shows an E negative number. That's what it fixes. What we're going to do is precision, and we're going to do it to 2. I don't think I spelled precision right. Let me see, precision. I don't think it's right either. Let's see what we can do about it. Is set precision, so it should be right. Yep, there it is. The precision is the old version. It used to be f out dot precision, and now it's set precision. So this is the correct way, and now it will show 2 decimal points. So let me make sure that I covered this. The fixed is gonna fix the numbers if you have any problems with showing them. and the show point is going to show every little number even if it's too big, and the set precision is going to show only 2 decimals. So it's going to press Control F5. Yes, yes to all. There it is. There are only 2 decimals. We should have done it for the gross pay, but let's see where it is. It is right. Where is it? Calculation by my name, and there it is, and employee name, and right in here the gross pay is just because it's an integer, so we're going to change that to float and equals 0.0f, and let's see if that changes. Yep, there it is. It's 0.00. So this gross pay should have been a float, not an integer. We kept it an integer at the start just because it's an integer right here. I didn't care for it, but as we go along with the code, we change things along like that. So now we have everything like that. We need to calculate the total of all of these deductions and then make sure that we deduct it from the pay. So before we go into that, the homework asks to make these right justified. It's very simple. You can just do right in here, right, just like that, and copy it, paste it, copy it, paste it to all of them, and same thing. And then Control F5, yes, yes to all, and it should push it to the right. It didn't push it right now because we have to keep a space right here. Actually, not just a space, we have to set a width for it again. I'm going to have to set a width in here, so let's set width for it. Set width, and we're going to set width as far as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's go ahead and set it to 6 and do this for all of them. Okay, Control F5. Yes, yes to all, and it should push them to the right. Yes, it did. It pushed them all to the right, but now we have a period right before these ones. Let's see, why is that? Control F5, yes, yes to all, and that's because we did the set fill right in here. So let's go ahead and edit the set fill again for these lines. Let's do set fill to basically just a space, nothing in it. Let's go and copy all of these. Alright, Control F5, yes, yes to all, there it is. Let's just, I would like to push these under it just to make sure that I formatted correctly for you guys, or I'll push it back and I'll keep it this way just because it's formatted all the way one line, and hopefully you'll be able to read it for your code. Now we need to make sure that we add the total up. To add the total is very simple. We can do make another float right in here and call it deduct tot equal 0.0f just to initialize it. So right here, deduct tot is equal to fed plus state plus social security plus med plus pen plus health inch. Okay, now we have all of these in one place, and now we can see the net pay. The net pay would be gpay minus deduct tot. This is gonna be it right in here. So instead of doing that, we can just do the output right away. So f out. First we're going to put an end line right in here, or we can put it right in here. We can put 2 end lines right here, and let's put minus right here. Take off the insert. Okay, so now we have 2 end lines right here. We don't have to do this right here because there is 2 end lines right in there. So net pay dots this and the number right here. So you just basically copy one of these lines and Control C, and let's paste it right in here, and let's see what we're gonna do, what we're gonna change in here. We will have to change this to net pay, and then the rest of it we're going to have to change no two end lines. We can take that off, and let's see what else. Health insurance. Okay, let's change the last of it to net pay right in there. Net pay, or actually not net pay, because we didn't make net pay. We made this right here, deduct out, and let's paste it right in here. And I apologize guys if I'm running into a little bit of problem. I'm fasting, and I'm running low on sugar, and I'm just trying to focus right here, but the program is running as it should, and I want you to learn from the mistakes that happened during the code, and let's see what we can do with it. Alright, now let's run it. There it is. Control F5, yes to all. There is the net pay, same dots, same lining, same everything, and there's the number, but it's pushed a little bit in there. The reason for that is just because this is set to 6, so we can set all of these to 9 just to make sure that we have covered our bases and we don't run into issues if we run it into bigger numbers. Yes to all. There it is, it's all aligned to the right. We're all good. We take another input and we keep processing this data. Right in here, like, we can do F out, and we can put a long line of dots just to separate in between them, like this one, and end line, and then we make sure that we do have one end line right here, but let's put another end line to make sure that we're separated between them. There's not much else that we have to do except that this is the other way around. This is not the right one. We're going to have to change that because it's just displaying net pay right now. Right in here, deduct total, we need to do GPay. I forgot about doing that. GPay minus deduct total. So like I said before, I had to do that, but I didn't actually write it down. There it is. Now it will display the right thing, and let's run it. Yes, yes to all. There it is. So let's go ahead and insert another name. So let's put a number, let's say 5000, and then let's call it Aziz, and then put another number which is 9000, and let's say Mo Green, and then enter, and now let's run it. Yes, yes to all. There it is. It shows it right away. We can put another end line at the end right here, or two of them. It should affect just the formatting, but that's about it. And there it is. It will separate them. So now you have paycheck calculation by my name. You get the number, you get the deductions, how much are they, and you get your total. Same thing with this, your number, deductions, and then total. Same thing right here, and it keeps doing that until the end of the file, even if you keep adding. So let's go ahead and go back to this to make sure that I covered all these things. The IO stream is for IO input and output, and F stream is for file input output. String IO manip is for formatting. I'll make sure I comment that. We have input, open the input file and open the output file. We made constant for the federal taxes, which is made by this file. We also made the floats that we're going to use to write in here to do gross pay times this number, and then we also have the float for gross pay, and we don't even have to do that right here. We can just go backspace, comma, and there's the gross pay. The string is right in here, paycheck calculation, file in, gross pay. Get the line of employee name to get the line with the space right in here, and don't worry about putting a space between the name and the integer, because when it inputs an integer, it sees that the one after it is a string, it will not input it. We go in, we do the set precision we do the fixed first to fix the numbers, show point to show every number, set precision to 2 is 2 decimals, 2.2 numbers, so 2 decimal numbers, and f out employee name left is to align it to the left. There is no center. I've wondered about that, and there isn't one. You have to do more work for it, so we only have left and right. Set width is to set the width, just like you say it. Set fill is to fill whatever space that you have left with whatever character you want. So gross amount, and we filled all these spaces with dots. We do the pay, and then right in here we had to align it back to right. We set width to 9 spaces, and we set fill to spaces because we already had set fill to dots. If we hadn't, it would go back to this one and check it. So let's go ahead and continue with it. Deduct total is right here, federal plus state plus social security plus all of them, and then we do gross pay minus deduct total, and then it will put the stars and get the next input and so on. So there's your code, there's your homework. I hope this helped you a lot, and I've tried my best to format it the way you want it. I'll put this code on our website indiedevelopment.co, and if you have any questions, just go ahead and ask in the forums in C++, and make sure to subscribe to the question so you get your answer right away, and or ask it on the YouTube channel. Hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day.